Okay, cool. Hi everyone, I'm Lavisha, and I am with Adobe from last 1.5 years, and till the time I have worked on few features. One is JWT features, and other is this powerful HTML to PDF engine. So we will today we will be talking about the HTML to PDF, out with the old, in with the new. So this will be the today's agenda. Initially, we will be going over the feature overview, like how exactly this feature is working and what's new about this feature. And then we will going how we are exactly scaling on that feature, what was the previous drawbacks and how we are overcoming that. Then we will be talking about few configurations and how exactly the under the hood, how exactly the workflow is working for us. And then we will be talking about two engines. One is WebKit engine and another is PDF Reactor engine. So WebKit engine is our older engine, and PDF Reactor is our new engine. From 2023, we are working on PDF Reactor engine. And then we will go over the what kind of enhancement we have done in HTML to PDF, and then we will go with the demo. So first thing first, as it's not the first time we are working with the PDFs. Since 2005, we are working with PDFs. So initially, we have launched CF document in 2005, which came with Cold Fusion 7. And further with that, we introduced HTML to PDF Engine 1 in 2014. And now we are out with Engine 2 in 2023. So going forward, as we have discussed, three type of engine, you can say three type of technique we are using for converting HTML to PDF. One is document, one is HTML to PDF engine 1, and another is engine 2. So I know you would like to see a huge difference, like why a document and then why HTML to PDF and then why engine 2. So for that difference, I created one HTML page which was looking like this, which have a Adobe logo, reports, profit, revenue, and everything else. So don't look at the profit; it's not the exact number. But yeah, this is just for the reference. For demo, we are saying this is my HTML page, and I want to convert this HTML page using my CF document, as we talked about CF document here, right? Then we will talk about, first we will see how we are converting with the document, then we will see with the engine and engine 2 what's the difference. So this is the HTML page. Coming back to the HTML page, let's suppose I apply CF document tag on this page and try to convert it in the PDF. So this is the output. I know does the job, but not too good, right? But after that, we have HTML to PDF engine 1. Let's see how does that work. So this is the output in that case. Does the job, a better table, we have the image, a little bit good, but not too perfect, right? So let's just see how it works with the engine 2. Boom. I guess it is more or less similar, right? Even if you notice one part, in the top, I have this Adobe logo and this demo HTML to PDF. So this is the header I have added to this PDF. So something like this I have recovered with the HTML PDF 2 engine. So, for those who are not exactly sure what is HTML to PDF, let me give a brief introduction to HTML to PDF. So, HTML to PDF is a basic tag we are using, and using this tag, what our expectation is, we are creating a high quality PDF using a text block. That text block can be a CFM, which is a Cold Fusion specific language, CFML, or you can use a HTML language, and using this PDF service manager. So this PDF service manager, just keep a look on that. I will be explaining what exactly is this. So using this PDF service manager, our expectation is to convert that text block to a PDF. So if you ask me what kind of usage I can have, I will simply say you can have three kind of usage. One is you can have an inline script similarly to the HTML. I can add my HTML text or a CFML text in my HTML to PDF block, and I can convert my PDF in the browser itself. As it doesn't specify any destination PDF, it will show a PDF on my browser itself. Second option is, for example, my HTML code is not that simple. I have a huge HTML file, huge CSS, everything attached to it. I don't want to use that code again. I don't want to repeat that code. I can simply specify my HTML file to that. in this example, I have added cfhtml to PDF tag. Then I have added a source HTML which I have, and then I am specifying which destination PDF it should be. This is the second use case scenario. Third, for example, I have my HTML site. It is somewhere hosted. So I want to refer that HTML page and want to create a PDF out of it. So you can also give a direct website link. For example, I'm here using google.com. So here I'm specifying source as a google.com and destination as a usagepdf.com. So here expectation is whatever it is there on my google.com, it should convert to a PDF. So this is more or less about the HTML to PDF. So first question you may ask, how will I use in my Cold Fusion? So this is the Cold Fusion account dashboard. You can install, for example, you are using a GUI installer. Good, everything good for you. Nothing you have to do. It will be automatically installed by default. But in case you are using our zip installer, which is a very small package kind of thing, in that you have to install it using the admin page. You can also do it using the CFM script we have in the bin, but I guess it is a better way to do it. So in the package manager, in the packages, you can search for HTML to PDF and just go and install it. So for example, I have installed it now. I can just go to my HTML and do my job. So for that case, just go to the admin page again. In the data source service, you will find a PDF service. On the top here, you can see PDF service, and I can add whatever PDF service name I want to specify, whatever host it is, and whatever port it is running, and what is the weightage of it. Weightage basically defines more the weightage, more is the preference. So weightage I can define, and it is HTTPS enabled or not. That is totally dependent what kind of service you are using. So, for example, I have opened this PDF service and I have my local service on it. So this local service have all the details. Local host, actually it comes by default, and you can only have one local host on one machine. So this is my local host on 8995. I have my solar service, or you can say my add-on service is running. So I've added that. By default, it is there. So more or less, it is very much similar to what we have in my older 2021, 2018. It is more or less similar, right? So what's new we have launched is this engine. So by default, initially we were using only engine 1. Now we have introduced engine 2 also. So in this case, we have engine 1 and engine 2. We can just select if like we don't want to ruin anything for our existing customer. We don't want they go with some kind of hassle or on. So that we have kept engine 1, but also we have kept engine 2 also. Now engine 2 is the default engine, and I would really request, if you have not used it right now, you can try it out, and it is definitely better, and I will explain why it is better. Okay. So in this page and this page, do you find anything different? I don't think so. We have more or less similar things, right? Oh, one thing. Yeah, I have in this PDF service manager, there are two PDF service manager enabled. If you take a closer look, we have two services. One is my local host, which is running on my machine, and one is my remote machine. For example, I don't want to run my service manager on each and every machine my Cold Fusion installed. I want multiple servers. For example, I have one service where my solar service is running, and I want to enable. I want to use that solar service in my 10 CF Cold Fusion server, so I can use that. Or similarly, I can add multiple service also. So if you are a standard user, then only one remote service or a local service you can add. But if you are enterprise, you have an enterprise edition, good luck. And that's the best thing I guess you are using. So in that, you can have more than one service manager. It can be local. Local is one only, but remote service you can have multiple. I can have maybe 5 or 10 service, and I can change my weightage also as per the usage. So this is about the service manager. So if you take a closer look, I am adding two service manager, which is basically more or less is working on my scaling. For example, this is my service manager 1, which is my local host in previous example, and this is my service pool 2, which is basically my remote machine. So these two service, whenever my load is coming, it is getting balanced over the two. So this kind of scaling, we, as we all know, it is kind of a horizontal scaling. So in this case, whenever, for example, I am converting 100 of PDF at one time, and I want to be, I don't want my Cold Fusion takes a lot of what do you say, like it should be balanced kind of thing. It should not overload with whatever request I sent. So by this usage, you can split your balance into service manager, but Cold Fusion doesn't stop there. For example, I am done with the horizontal scaling. I have added three or four, whatever number I want to, but I can also have a vertical scaling on the top of it. So basically, how one service pool process pool works is, it can, on the basis of load, it can increase the number of conversion server. For example, I can have 1 2 3 or n server as per the usage. So these two scaling we are supporting right now, horizontal and vertical scaling. So we have talked about few things. One was, what is the host name, what is the name, what is the weightage. So these kind of things we were discussing on my admin page only, and through my admin page I can configure those things. But there are few more settings which you can configure using this web.xml. If you can find it in the Jetty folder, if you are using a add-on service, you can find it directly in the web apps. But if you are using a GUI installer, you will go to the Cfusion Jetty, and this is the location of WebXML. So basically, you will have, if you are configuring this web.xml, you will have an entire control over what kind of configuration you want to set and what kind of configuration you want to maybe change. Okay, so these kind of services which we have introduced recently, one is the minimum service, maximum service, idle PDF service timeout, waiting queue size, waiting queue timeout. So I guess name itself is explaining what exactly it is. For example, I am defining minimum service as one. So that means my Cold Fusion should have a minimum of one service in it. Maximum service, for example, I can have five. It will not allow me to add any sixth service to that. Idle PDF service timeout is basically, for example, my scaling is done. It is initially it was getting a lot of pressure on it, but now it will wait for few seconds just to check if it needs to scale down. So that kind of timeout I can set. Similarly, waiting queue size and waiting queue size timeout I can set. So if you go to the web.xml, it will look similar to this. In the context parameter, I have minimum service right now, it is one, and maximum service right now it is two. I can just configure it however I want and restart my Cold Fusion server and let it work how I want to configure it. As part of these configuration, we have few more configuration. For example, now I want to do a logging kind of thing. Now I want ki whenever I'm starting my Cold Fusion server, whenever my any PDF service manager is working, it should log everything in my log file. So this kind of thing can also be done using the JavaScript debug mode. This is something which we have introduced with the new engine. And for enabling logging, we have two options there. One is enabling logging as false. This is by default false. If you want to set any debug mode, initially you want to make it as true, and then you can set what kind of JavaScript debug mode you are looking for. None means nothing you want to log. Positions means basically line number this, line number this. Only then you can have exception where exactly my error is coming. Then you can have function. Function basically means whenever it will go to your function x, it will throw a log, like it is now entering x, now running this part, now exiting x function, something like this. If you want to log, lines basically means everything, none, position, exceptions, everything it will include in lines. Lines basically each and every line will get a log in my log file. So this time kind of thing you can set. And other thing is, uh, for example, I have a PDF, and I want that PDF in using my custom fonts. I want it totally custom, and I want to add a custom file path to it. In the same XML file, you can add this user custom font path, and yeah, that's it. You're good to go. You can add your JavaScript debug mode, you can add your minimum service, maximum service, you can add your custom fonts to it. So these are the configuration you can set using your service manager. So going forward with that, I would like to tell you like how everything is working on the back end, how exactly the components are, and what is the thing, like how exactly the workflow. So let's go with the workflow. So for example, this is my end user. My end user is giving a request to my Cold Fusion server. This is my Cold Fusion server. Inside my Cold Fusion, as we already defined in the admin page, we have a PDF service. So this is my PDF service, HTML to PDF module. And inside that HTML module, we have a PDF service manager. This can be multiple service manager, but yeah, in this case, I'm taking only one example. So for example, my end user throw a request that this is my HTML content, convert it to PDF. So my Cold Fusion server will check if HTML PDF module is installed. If yes, then what is the service manager in it? For example, the service manager is maybe remote or maybe local. That service manager will give a request further to my Cold Fusion add-on service. For example, any remote service is running, it will throw a request to the remote machine. Then on the remote machine, it will go inside the Jetty server. This is the same Jetty server we are talking from the start. Like in the local host also we have a Jetty server, we in the remote also we have a Jetty server. So whenever my service manager wants to give a call, it will give a call to a Jetty server. And inside the Jetty server, we have two type of engine. One is engine 1 and one is engine 2. So what engine 1 and engine 2, whatever I am selecting, it will, the request will go to that engine. That engine will convert that request. For example, my HTML, my name is Lavisha. This HTML content will get converted to a PDF using the whatever engine I'm selecting. Let's suppose I'm using engine 2 here. It will get converted using the engine 2, and engine 2 will give a response back to the Cold Fusion server like, this is your PDF file, I have converted it now. uh, do whatever you want with that PDF. So that Cold Fusion server will then give an output to a end user. So for example, in this whole scenario, I have some issue, I have some kind of error maybe, which is probably a case because in day-to-day life we used to have some error or something like that. So what is the first thing you will check when you will have errors? Log files, right? So log file, whatever log file will be there, there will be two log file. One will be generated in the Cold Fusion log server, Cold Fusion server log, Cold Fusion logs will be generated, and other is the PDF service log, which will be generated on your Jetty server. So these two logs file you can check in the Cold Fusion log. You will check ki how exactly my service manager is accessing, is the call is going to that, is the response is 200 okay, that those kind of things you can check in the Cold Fusion logs. And other things, for example, is conversion happening, is conversion failed, those kind of things you can check in the PDF service log. So just a recap, we were talking about two engines from the start itself, engine 1 and engine 2. Just to give a recap, what was the engine 1 and what was the engine 2 name. So engine 1 was our WebKit engine and engine 2 was our PDF reactor engine. These are the two engines we were talking about from the start. So this was the component workflow. So let's get back to the PDF reactor engine, which is our engine 2. And before going to that, let's discuss why exactly we are shifting. You may ask why, what was the need for you to shift from the WebKit to the PDF reactor, right? So let's discuss on that part. What was the exact need? So PDF reactor engine is, it comes into the picture because WebKit has few limitations over the PDF reactor. So one limitation is that it is a very deprecated product, and in case of any support, any issue, we have no one to we have no customer service for that. So what, that was the reason one. Reason two, which was a really headache for our customer, is it was only supported on Windows and Linux, and it was not supported in Mac and Solaris. So that was a very, very, very pain because they have to set up. For example, I have Cold Fusion on my Mac machine. They have to set up everything, Cold Fusion, Jetty, add-on service, everything on a Windows machine just to run this conversion. So that is other limitation. One was when PD HTML. I'm sorry. When WebKit was introduced, it was introduced back then is 2014. So in that, at that time, HTML5 and CSS3 was not totally in the market. Like there were few functions, 5 6 function I can remember, which was there in 2014. But after 2014, there are a lot of function which HTML5 and CSS3 introduced. So that was not available in the WebKit engine. So that was the third limitation we had. And other was ki, for example, I am giving a request of thousands and hundreds of file at the same time. The parallel render was taking a lot of time, because that engine is not too much powerful to render multiple PDF or large PDF or parallel PDF. So that kind of load it was not getting. So those were few limitations, and because of that, we moved to our new engine, PDF Reactor engine, which is our engine 2. So let's see what kind of feature we have with the engine 2. So first and foremost feature is it's the one-stop solution for everything. Not for everything, but yeah, for HTML to PDF conversion, it's a one-stop solution, and it is very dynamic. Matlab, people uses basically it to create reports, to create invoices, forms, and maybe I want to create a catalog out of it. So those kind of thing people were doing with the HTML to PDF conversion, and for that you can convert it to PDF, you can print it. It's as it is a high quality. You can make catalog, marketing catalog, any documentation, and even store it with you. So let's come to the features we have introduced with the PDF Reactor engine. It's a huge list actually, so just we will go slow by slow with each feature. First and foremost is it is supporting all platforms. So such a relax for that. We don't have to hassle a lot for just setting up the conversion engine. We can do it in any local host, any local machine itself. So that is a much relief kind of thing. We have support for now Windows, Linux, Mac, and Solaris. And second is PDF Reactor is highly reliable because it has a very good support, and it has very less chance to produce formatting errors, as we seen in the initial conversion also, when I was converting HTML page to a PDF. So it was more or less similar to it. We were not having any formatting errors, or any change was not there from the PDF. So that is the one big plus point on that. And other is whatever HTML5 and CSS features we have right now, it is all uh, enabled in the PDF reaction. You can use it barcode, you can use this flex, CSS3, everything you want, you can use it. And few JavaScript features also. Why I'm using few words in front of JavaScript is JavaScript is kind of like in the JavaScript I can also create animations kind of thing, but let's face it, you cannot convert it to the PDF. But yeah, but output we can save, maybe a navigation bar we can save. So those kind of whatever JavaScript features we can support in the PDF, that we are going to support with this engine. And other is one pain point with WebKit was it was taking a lot of time. So as compared to that, PDF Reactor can handle a large conversion of PDF, and it can also do it very faster. Other than that, Cold Fusion doesn't stop there. We have few more features enhanced to it. One and foremost and very important is conformance. For people who are not very much aware about conformance, is basically, for example, I have a PDF, I have converted it. So conformance comes with very advanced level. Right now we are only supporting conformance A level, which comes with the like conformance A1, B2, and 3. We are not supporting whole list, but yeah, the majority we are supporting. So for example, if I take example of PDF conformance A, what conformance level A says is basically you can convert a PDF with the with like no disturbance. You can convert a PDF, and it is following the systematic flow, and you can preserve that PDF for a longer time. For example, my technology changes. in 5, 10, 20 years my technology is going to change. So those kind of documents which are following that conformance level A, it can be preserved as it is following some kind of standards. So those standards we have introduced. So basically you can save your PDFs for a longer time, you can archive it, you can access it whenever you want. So other thing we are focusing on is the header, footer, page break, those kind of things. So this is the child tag which we are already supporting for HTML to PDF. In this, I have added, for example, I want to add a header in my HTML page. In the starting example, I have also added a header, but in the demo also, I will show you how we are exactly adding that, add a header and footer, that kind of things. So this is the child tag we are supporting. So in the header and footer, initially you were only allowed to have any number kind of thing, but now we are also adding images, div tags, whatever you want. Just name it, you have it. So whatever content you can have it in the HTML basic content, you can have it in your header and footer also. So this is basically we are providing enhanced header and footer with all the page numbers, with the logos and everything. And other things we are also we are supporting is the accessibility. So accessibility basically means ki how accessible my PDF is, how I can say ki this is a proper PDF. So in the PDF we are supporting tagged PDF. So proper nesting is there. For example, a div tag is there, then it is closing properly, it have proper color, it has proper title mentioned to it. So those kind of things, whatever accessibility have, we are supporting our PDF. Like our PDF is also accessible now. So these were the things we had for the PDF Reactor new features. Let's talk about the comparison in both. Like one is the WebKit and one is the PDF Reactor. So let's talk about little bit on the comparison part. So these are the things we have taken in mind while doing the comparison. We have changed the file size. We are noting the conversion time and number of conversion, whatever number of conversion we are taking. For each file, we have approximately 1,000 conversion, and after that, I have created a graph. So as you see, one 10 KB file in PDF Reactor Engine is taking somewhere around 100 milliseconds, and in PDF Reactor Engine, it's somewhere less than 100 milliseconds. And as the size increases, the gap increases. So basically, it is a exponential graph saying ki this red line shows what PDF WebKit is, how PDF WebKit is performing, and this blue line is a PDF reactor. So even we have took a large file of 2 MB, and it took 1,000 millisecond for the WebKit and somewhere less for the PDF reactor engine. So more or less we can say there is a performance difference in both. It's about 1.3x improvement we have in the newer engine. So let's talk about the demo we have. Before that, actually, we all are Batman fans, right? So we all know Batman, and I have created a demo on that only. For example, I go and say ki Batman will come and use this feature. Batman will come and convert the HTML file, HTML page to a PDF page. I guess it's very hard to believe, but what Batman has is the Wayne Enterprise, and this Wayne Enterprise is a huge company back there. So I've taken an example for that company, and it is very realistic for a company like that to use this kind of feature. So this is the Wayne Enterprise main page, and this is the total sales data. For example, in year 2023, we have this much profit, this much loss, and you can see in 2020 there were hardly any expenses, and there are a lot of profit. And that is, I guess, because of COVID, because Batman didn't have to do anything there, and like all the criminals died itself due to the COVID, and that's why there is a huge profit making in that year. So for example, I have some kind of page, HTML page like this, and I want to convert this page in my HTML, in my PDF, just so that I can share this data, share the sale data with maybe one of my picture or maybe my boss. So for that case, I can just go and print my dashboard, it will automatically convert my HTML to a PDF and will give something like this. On the Chrome itself, you can see we have converted it into the PDF. So nothing is interrupted. Everything is coming fine, like this background image and font size, everything, it is coming fine. Some One other thing is, this is a yearly sales data. For example, I want to share my monthly expense, what was the last month expense and something like that. So this is a progress report we have. This is made in JavaScript, and if you see, there is kind of animation attached to it also. So let's suppose I want to convert this kind of data in my HTML. Let's try to convert it month PDF. By the time it is getting converted, for example, I want to share my company details also with someone. I can just go to this about us page and check like what my company is and who is the CEO and everything about my company. So this is my about page. In the about page, if you see, we have a header which with the Wayne Enterprise logo. We have this Wayne Enterprise written on my header, and after that my story is there, like my company stories is there. And now I am telling about who is the CEO, who's the founder, and everything. And then so if you see, this is flex and grid attached to it. So HTML5 uses that, you can see it is perfectly getting converted in my HTML also. And if you take a look on the footer side also, in the footer I have also added a logo and with the page number. For example, this is my page number, page 1 after 4. So this kind of footer also we are supporting now. So this is my YouTube video I have attached. So we will go to that video to check what exactly my company do. So this is about my company. If you can see, I can directly uh, like I have clicked on my PDF and watched that video on YouTube. So this is the capacity we are giving with PDF Reactor Engine. So for example, this is my video tag I'm using. Similarly, we can have some SVG images also. This is my SVG image, and look how clear that image comes in my PDF. So all the detailing we have done in that case also. Also, we can support the barcode, QR codes, as HTML5 is also supporting this. So here we are also supporting it. And here you can see the page number is also increasing as we are going down. And other is the location part. Right now this is Bangalore, but yeah, hopefully the Batman will come in Bangalore soon also. So this kind of map is also we can show. So this is basically using a JavaScript leaflet feature to print that on my PDF. So this is about Wayne Enterprise, and other things we were focusing on. I guess we have to take a step back because it was getting converted, and this was the monthly report of my 2023. So if you see, this is the JavaScript graph we had, and this is the final output we have in our HTML to PDF. Like this is the PDF we have converted. So this is about Wayne Enterprise. This is about everything, and let's just go and see how does the code works for it. Just give me a second. So in the VS Code, I have installed my CF Studio Builder, and inside that I have all my HTML code. So this is the HTML page, it's home HTML dot page, which I was showing in that. Just a second. Yeah, this page. So if you can uh, look at it, this is more or less HTML5 or CSS I have. And this is my CFM I'm using for that same page. I have used an inline script for that, just for an example. This is my CFM to PDF tag, and inside that I have all my HTML content and CSS content inside it. Other than that, let's see how exactly this is working. So we have this monthly data. Let's go over it and check how exactly it is working. Just a second. Yeah. So this is my charts I am following. I'm using in my HTML file. This is my progress.html I'm using, and this is my progress.cfm. This CFM has the inline script enabled. This is my HTML to PDF. In my source, you can see I have added just the progress.html page, and I have set my orientation to it. And then I am saying ki, what my header should be like. In the header, I have added one image which was the Wayne Enterprise logo, and after that I am adding just a Wayne Enterprise company info. And after that, in the footer also, if you can see, I have added this number format, what kind of number format we are expecting as a page number. So this is my page number and this is my last page. So this is the way I can define how exactly I want to add a footer to it. So this is one example. And if you check about us page where I was talking about all the CSS3 features, so if you see, one is the map. I have added a map, JavaScript map here, and other is the grid thing. Here we have added all the images and everything. Let me just go back to that so that you can understand a little bit more clear. Yeah. So this is the grid, CF grid we are using. This is the image and this is the description about that person. So if you come back here, this is the grid item. We are adding a JPG. We are writing what that person is, what is the description. And similarly, we are also giving a div and everything. And in the location, I'm adding this thing. And if you also see, Flex is also supported in this one. And I guess more or less I've covered everything in this. Yeah. So that's it from my side. If you have any question, I can answer any question if you have.